Myself, Dr. Leena Norona. Welcome to my fifth video lecture on electrochemistry. In the previous lecture, you have studied numericals on Colrock's law of migration of ions and quantitative aspects of electrolysis. Today we will study about galvanic cell, salt bridge, conventions for representing electrochemical cell, steps to write a cell reaction, electrode potential and cell potential, thermodynamics of galvanic cells, and finally electrochemical series. In the previous lecture, you had studied about two types of cells. One was electrolytic cell, which you have already studied in the last lecture. Today we will study about galvanic cell. The galvanic cell is also called voltaic cell. It is made up of two half cells. Each half cell consists of a metal strip kept immersed in a solution of its ions of known concentration. The metal strips are called electrodes. The two half cells are immersed in separate solutions of their respective ions in separate containers. The two electrodes are connected through voltmeter by a conducting wire for transfer of electrons between them. To complete the circuit, the two half cells are connected by a salt bridge. Salt bridge is a conducting medium through which cations and anions move from one half cell to another. Now in the figure, you can see two separate containers have been placed. In one container, zinc sulfate solution is taken as an electrolyte. In it, a zinc rod is immersed. This zinc rod will play the role of anode. It will be connected to negative terminal of the source of current. In another, to my right, you can find in another container, copper sulfate solution is taken as the second electrolyte. In it, copper electrode is immersed. Copper electrode will play the role of cathode. It will be connected to positive terminal. This copper rod is immersed in copper sulfate solution. The two electrodes are connected through voltmeter by a conducting wire for transfer of electrons between them. So these are two half cells. One half cell containing an electrode immersed in its electrolyte containing its own ions, and same way on the other side. So to connect the two half cells, a salt bridge which plays the role of diaphragm is used over here. So this is the salt bridge whose one part is immersed in one electrolyte and the other part is immersed in the other electrolyte. Now let us study about the salt bridge in detail. The salt bridge is a U-shaped glass tube which contains either saturated solution of potassium chloride or ammonium nitrate along with 5% agar solution. Agar is a colloidal substance when added in water. In order to keep the taken electrolytes, either KCl or ammonium nitrate, moist, agar solution is utilized. In the figure, you find a beaker is taken. In this, the salt bridge is placed in an inverted position. So this is the salt bridge, which is a inverted U-shaped glass tube. It is immersed in distilled water. When not in use, it is always kept in distilled water. Now this salt bridge contains either saturated KCl solution or ammonium nitrate along with agar gel. Generally, saturated KCl solution is used as an electrolyte because the transport number of K plus and Cl minus is almost the same. You must know what is a transport number. It is the fraction of total current carried by each ion of the electrolyte. Greater the mobility of the ion, more will be the current carried by that ion and more will be its transport number. Now the salt bridge is prepared by filling the glass tube with hot concentrated solution of the salt and agar solution. This mixture on cooling forms a gel and does not come out on inverting the tube. Both the ends of this salt bridge are closed by means of glass wool plug so that the electrolyte does not come out. Next, we will study functions of salt bridge. Now on salt bridge, question can be asked for 2 marks as what is a salt bridge? And on functions, 1 mark question can be asked as write any 2 functions of salt bridge. So 3 functions of salt bridge have been given in your text. One is it maintains electrical contact between the solutions of 2 half cells. Any 2 half cells taken, in order to provide electrical contact between the 2 electrolytes taken in these 2 half cells, we require to use a salt bridge. If salt bridge is removed, the potential drops to 0. It prevents the mixing of the electrode solution. The 2 electrodes are immersed in 2 different electrolytes. In order to prevent the mixing of the 2 electrolytic solutions into which the electrodes are immersed, a salt bridge is utilized. The third function is it maintains electrical neutrality in both the solutions. It maintains electrical neutrality in both the solutions. Next, we shift to conventions for representing electrochemical cell. This point is very important regarding board exam point of view. Also, to understand how to read an electrochemical cell, we must know few rules which are very important. So you need to learn the conventions for representing electrochemical cell. Let us study those. Now, before going to the rules, let us see an example which has been put forth in the form of cell formula over here. Now, how to read the cell formula? Zinc rod is in direct contact with zinc sulfate, whose molarity is 1, is in indirect contact with copper sulfate, whose molarity is also 1, which is in direct contact with copper. Zinc is connected as anode. It is seen towards left hand side. That electrode which is returned to left side, although connected to negative terminal, plays a role of anode. And that electrode which is connected to the extreme right side, connected to positive terminal, plays the role of cathode. We find a single vertical line is placed between an electrode and an electrolyte, which is indicating direct contact between them. We also find the same on the right side. Here copper is in direct contact with CuSO4, whereas zinc rod is in direct contact with ZnSO4, which is the another electrolyte. The two electrolytes are separated by means of salt bridge, which is indicated by a double vertical line. The concentrations of electrolytes taken are always written on the right side in the form of subscript of each electrolyte. Now let us study in detail about the conventions for representing electrochemical cell. The anode is written at the extreme left and cathode is written at the extreme right in the cell formula. That means although zinc is connected to negative terminal, it will behave as anode, and copper, although connected to positive terminal, it will play the role of cathode. That means anode is always written to extreme left and cathode is always written to extreme right. Second, the insoluble substances or gases are placed in the interior position adjacent to the metal electrode. This means the electrode which is in contact with its own electrolyte, these electrolytes, they may be of solid electrodes or even of gas electrodes. Electrolyte should always be present in the middle part of the cell formula, and it should be adjacent to the electrode which is taken to it. The third rule says aqueous solution of ions are placed at the middle of the cell formula. Now these electrolytes are 1 molar each in concentration. That means they are aqueous solution, so they have been placed in the central part of the cell formula. A single vertical line is used between two faces, that is electrode and the aqueous solution, which indicates direct contact between them. Double vertical line is used between the two solutions, electrolytic solutions, which indicate they are connected by salt bridge. That means there is indirect contact between these electrolytes. Now, concentration of solutions and pressure of gas is also stated. We have mentioned the concentration of the electrolytes taken over here in bracket next to those electrolytes. Even if it is a gas electrode, at the bottom you can see a gas electrode has been represented here. The gas pressure should be mentioned in right corner of that particular electrode taken. Ions in the same phase are separated by a comma. Suppose Fe2 plus, Fe3 plus, these ions are in direct contact with each other. They are the ions which are of same phase. Then they should be separated by means of comma. Eighth rule, the metal or inert electrodes are placed at the end of the cell formula as conducting device. Now what do you mean by this point? To understand this, let us take a hydrogen gas electrode representation here. To read this cell formula, H plus ions of 1 molar in direct contact with H2 gas whose pressure is 1 atmosphere is in direct contact with platinum. Now, H plus ions of 1 molar. This means hydrogen gas will be bubbled into HCl solution. That means both H2 gas and HCl solution have H plus ions common. So HCl solution, instead of writing HCl solution, we can also write it as H plus ions. Its concentration 1 molar in direct contact with H2 gas. Its pressure is taken as 1 atmosphere in direct contact with platinum. Always the electrolyte taken for gas electrode should be written towards left side. The gas and the contact, that is conducting device, should be connected towards the right side. To the extreme right should be, generally for gas electrode, platinum is used. Why platinum is used here? Any gas cannot direct conduct electric current. In order to provide electrical contact, platinum is used in gas. So platinum will provide, platinum being an inert metal, it will not take part in any cell reaction, but it will only help H2 to ionize or Cl2 to ionize in its own electrolyte. So it is just a source of electrical contact between the gas taken and its electrolytic solution. Next we study about steps to write the cell reaction. How to write the cell reaction? The oxidation half reaction is written for left hand side electrode and reduction half reaction is written for right hand side electrode. That electrode which is connected to negative terminal, which will play the role of anode, is said to oxidize. So we will write oxidation half reaction for that, which will show loss of electrons, and that electrode which is connected as cathode, which is written towards right side, it will play the role of gain of electrons. Therefore we will write reduction half reaction for that electrode. Now the overall reaction can be written by adding the two electrode half reactions, that is sum of oxidation half reaction and reduction half reaction will give you net cell reaction, or it is also called as overall reaction. While adding these reactions, the electrons must be cancelled. Naturally, the electrons that are donated will be accepted by the other electrode. Therefore, the electrons donated and electrons gained will remain same and they get automatically cancelled. No electrons appear in the overall cell reaction. No electrons appear in the overall cell reaction. When you write the net cell reaction, no electrons that are lost or gained must be represented. Another point that is important here is, while adding the oxidation and reduction reactions, the electrons must be cancelled. For this, it may be necessary to multiply one or both half reactions by a suitable numerical factor. Now, what do you mean by this sentence? To understand this, let us shift ahead. Now, consider this cell formula. Nickel solid is in direct contact with Ni2 plus solution, which is of 1 molar, is in indirect contact with Al3 plus solution, which is also 1 molar, is in direct contact with aluminium. As we find, nickel is towards the left, it will be the anode. Aluminium connected towards right side will play the role of cathode. So nickel has to oxidize and aluminium has to reduce. So let us see the half cell reactions. At anode, nickel oxidizes to give Ni2 plus with a release of 2 electrons. Whereas at the cathode, reduction half reaction of Al3 plus being trivalent, it gains 3 electrons to give aluminium solid. Now we find number of electrons donated and number of electrons that are gained are unequal. 2 electrons have been donated by nickel, whereas Al3 plus requires 3 electrons to form aluminium. So in order to make this number of electrons equal, balance the electrons, we need to multiply the first reaction by 3 and the second reaction by 2. So we get the following reactions. 3 times nickel solid gives 3 times Ni2 plus 6 electrons. This is oxidation half reaction. This is revised oxidation half reaction. And the second reaction is twice Al3 plus 6 electron gives twice Al. So the electrons that are lost are gained over here in the second reaction, and we get the overall cell reaction as thrice Ni solid plus twice Al3 plus gives 3 times Ni2 plus 2 times Al. Now let us come back to step number 3. The individual half reactions may be written with 1 or more electrons. Example, half reaction for H2 gas can be written as, we can write H plus gaining electron to form H2 as follows. Twice H plus 2 electrons gives H2 gas, or we can also write it as H plus gains 1 electron to form half H2 gas. Both the reactions have same meaning, so it makes no difference if you represent it either in the first or in the second manner. However, in writing overall cell reactions, the electrons must be balanced. Next concept is electrode potential and cell potential. The potential difference established due to electrode half reaction occurring at the electrode surface is called electrode potential. At standard conditions, that is temperature 25 degrees centigrade, pressure of 1 atmosphere and concentration of 1 molar or unit activity, the potentials recorded are called standard electrode potentials. Now let us study about the two types of potentials. One is standard oxidation potential and the other one is standard reduction potential. The electrode potential associated with oxidation half reaction when all the substances are in their standard states is called standard oxidation potential. It is denoted by the symbol E0 oxy. The electrode potential associated with reduction half reaction when all substances are in their standard states is called standard reduction potential. It is indicated with the symbol E0 reduction. Now, according to IUPAC convention, standard electrode potentials of an electrode is taken as standard reduction potential. Therefore, E0 oxy is equal to minus E0 reduction. For example, if we take a zinc electrode, Zn2 plus ions are in direct contact with zinc electrode. Electrode potential, oxidation electrode potential, standard oxidation potential, E0 oxy means standard oxidation potential of zinc is equal to 0.76 volt. Then its standard reduction potential becomes minus 0.76 volt. Now let us see what is a cell potential. It is also called cell voltage. The difference in electric potential between an anode and cathode is called cell voltage or cell potential. Mathematically, we can represent it as E0 cell is equal to minus E0 reduction taking place at anode plus E0 reduction taking place at cathode, or E0 cell is equal to E0 cathode minus E0 anode. Both the formulae should be known to you. Numericals are based on these formulas. In a galvanic cell, the electrode with higher standard potential is a cathode and that with lower standard potential is anode. The electrode potential and cell potential generally depend on concentration of the electrolytic solutions taken, pressure of the gases if it is a gas electrode, and temperature. Now let us study another important concept, that is dependence of cell potential on concentration by means of Nernst equation. Consider a general reaction. AA plus BB gives CC plus DD. In this reaction, small a, small b, these are number of moles or molar concentration or activities of the reactants A and B taken here. Capital A and capital B are the reactants and small a and small b are activities or molar concentration of those reactants. Now come to write capital C and capital D, these are the products obtained and their molar concentrations or activities are indicated with small letter C and small letter D. According to Nernst, the cell voltage can be given by the formula E cell is equal to E0 cell minus RT upon NF log of concentration of C raised to C into concentration of D raised to D upon concentration of A raised to A into concentration of B raised to B. Therefore, E cell is equal to E0 cell minus 2.303 RT upon NF log to the base of 10 of concentration of C raised to C into concentration of D raised to D upon concentration of A raised to A into concentration of B raised to B. Now, the above equation is converted to log to the base of 10. Therefore, we multiply RT upon NF by 2.303. Now, in this equation, N is equal to number of moles of electrons used in the reaction. F, you already know this term, it is Faraday, which is equal to 96,500 Coulomb. And T is the temperature in Kelvin. R is the gas constant, it is equal to 8.314 Joule per K per mole. At 25 degrees centigrade, 2.303 RT upon NF is equal to, you solve this by substituting the values of N, by substituting the values of F, T, you get it as 0.0592 volt. So, E cell is equal to E0 cell minus 0.0592 upon N log to the base of 10 of concentration of C raised to C into concentration of D raised to D upon concentration of A raised to A into concentration of B raised to B. Now, if concentrations of A, B, C and D are equal to 1 molar, then E cell becomes equal to E0 cell. Now, let us see with the help of an example how to calculate the cell potential. Follow the reaction. Cadmium solid is in direct contact with Cd2 plus aqueous, which is in indirect contact with Cu2 plus aqueous, is in direct contact with copper. As cadmium is connected towards left side, it will oxidize, and copper is connected towards right side, so it will reduce. So, cadmium loses 2 electrons to form Cd2 plus. This is half cell oxidation reaction taking place at anode. And at cathode, half cell reduction reaction taking place is of Cu2 plus gaining 2 electrons to give copper solid. So, net cell reaction gives Cd solid plus Cu2 plus aqueous gives Cd2 plus aqueous plus Cu solid. Now, number of electrons that are donated and gained are 2. So, N will be equal to 2. The potential of the cell can be given by Nernst equation as E cell is equal to E0 cell minus 0.0592 upon 2 log to the base of 10 of concentration of Cd2 plus upon concentration of Cu2 plus at 25 degree centigrade. Always remember, concentration of solids and pure liquids are taken to be unity. So, copper, cadmium both are solids. So, their molar concentrations are considered to be 1 molar. Now, calculation of electrode potential. How to calculate an electrode potential? Consider another electrode here. Zn2 plus aqueous is in direct contact with zinc solid. If reduction reaction is said to take place over here, Zn2 plus aqueous will gain 2 electrons to form zinc solid. Applying Nernst equation, electrode potential can be given as Ezn is equal to E0Zn minus 0.0592 upon 2 log to the base of 10 of 1 upon concentration of Zn2 plus. This equation can be rearranged as equal to E0Zn plus 0.0592 upon 2 log to the base of 10 of concentration of Zn2 plus at 25 degree centigrade. Now let us study thermodynamics of galvanic cells. You have not studied the chapter thermodynamics. In thermodynamics, you have a term Gibbs free energy. Now, what is Gibbs free energy? Gibbs free energy is indicated with the letter capital G is equal to H minus Ts. So this equation G is equal to H minus Ts. H indicates enthalpy, that is heat content. T is temperature in Kelvin and S is entropy. S is another term you will study in thermodynamics. It means molecular disorder of a particular substance taken. So G, Gibbs free energy, means G is equal to H minus Ts. We will require Gibbs free energy term. So what is it? It is delta G. How to find delta G? Taking into consideration initial and final conditions, we get delta G, that is equal to delta H minus T delta S, where delta H is enthalpy change, T as usual temperature in Kelvin, and delta S is entropy change. Now let us study about the relation between Gibbs energy change and cell potential. Electrical work done is equal to amount of charge passed multiplied by cell potential, which is equal to NF multiplied by E cell. Let us consider this to be equation number 1. Maximum electrical work is done by the cell when the process is reversible. So reversible work done in a galvanic cell will be equal to decrease in Gibbs energy. So electrical work done will be equal to minus delta G, which indicates decrease in Gibbs free energy. Let us consider this equation number 2. Combining or comparing equations 1 and 2, we get minus delta G is equal to NF into E cell, or delta G is equal to minus NF into E cell. Under standard conditions, delta G0 will be equal to minus NF into E0 cell, where delta G0 is equal to standard Gibbs free energy change and E0 cell is equal to standard cell potential. Numericals based on the relation delta G is equal to minus NF into E cell are very often asked for board exam. Now let us study another important term. Standard cell potential is an intensive property. Explain why. Now we know that there are two types of properties. We will study about this in detail in thermodynamics. There are two types of properties of a substance. One is called as intensive property and another one is called as extensive property. Intensive property is that property which is independent on the amount of substance taken, whereas extensive property is that property which is dependent on the amount of substance taken. Now let us see, delta G0 is an extensive property. Why? Because its value depends on the amount of substance taken. If stoichiometric equation of redox reaction is multiplied by 2, that is, the amount of substance oxidized and reduced are doubled, delta G0 also doubles. So the moles of electrons transferred also will double. So E0 cell is equal to minus delta G0 upon NF. This can be written as minus 2 times delta G0 upon 2 times NF. If you simplify this, you get again minus delta G0 upon NF. E0 cell remains the same by multiplying the redox reaction by 2. It means E0 cell, that is standard cell potential, is independent on the amount of substance taken. Therefore, it is an intensive property. Now let us study about relation between standard cell potential and equilibrium constant. Relation between standard Gibbs energy change and cell potential can be written as delta G0 is equal to minus NF into E0 cell. Let us consider this to be equation number 1. Now relation between standard Gibbs energy change and equilibrium constant can be given as delta G0 is equal to minus RT log of K. Let us consider this to be equation number 2. Now this concept, this equation you will study in thermodynamics. We are applying that in this particular topic. Now both the equations are related to standard Gibbs free energy change. So we can compare equation 1 and 2 to get minus NF into E0 cell is equal to minus RT log of K. Let us consider this to be equation number 3. Rearranging this equation 3, we get E0 cell is equal to RT log of K upon NF. Therefore, E0 cell is equal to 2.303 RT log to the base of 10 of K upon NF. As 2.303 upon F corresponds to 0.0591 or 0.0592, we can write further E0 cell is equal to 0.0591 upon N log to the base of 10 of K. Finally, today we will study about electrochemical series, another very important term in the topic electrochemistry, electrochemical series. So before studying electrochemical series, let us see this chart. To the left side, we find all the electrodes have been placed. In the middle part, we find half cell reactions have been placed. Again, in this middle part, to the left side species, we find oxidizing agents have been placed. And here to the right side in the center, we find reducing agents have been placed. And their standard reduction potential values are placed to the extreme right side. To the extreme right side. They have been recorded at 298 Kelvin in volts. Now here we find from bottom to top, the elements have been placed on the left side in the center in the increasing order of the oxidizing agents. Whereas in the center towards the right, we find the elements have been placed in the descending order, that is increasing strength of reducing agents. It proceeds in the descending order. Now what is an electrochemical series? Electrochemical series is also called electromotive series. In short, it can also be termed as EMF series. The arrangement of electrodes, either metals or non-metals, in contact with their ions with electrode half reactions in the order of decreasing standard potentials is known as EMF series. Now let us see the key points of EMF series. The half reactions are written as reductions. Now in this cell formula, we find magnesium is the anode. It is in direct contact with Mg2+, whose concentration is 1 molar. In direct contact with Ag+, whose concentration is 1 molar, is in direct contact with Ag solid, which is cathode. So E0 Mg2+ will give reduction potential minus 2.37 volt, and E0 Ag+ will give the reduction potential 0.799 volt. In the series you have seen in the chart, the oxidizing agents and electrons appear on the left side of half reactions. I have shown you previously in the chart. The reducing agents are shown on the right side in the half reaction. Another important thing, below hydrogen electrode, negative standard reduction potential increases, and above hydrogen electrode, positive standard potential increases. Again, let us see the chart. We find as electrode potential of hydrogen is always 0, it is placed in the center. Above it, the elements placed are strong oxidizing agents, and below this standard hydrogen electrode, the elements that have been placed, these are strong reducing agents. So all positive values of standard reduction potentials are seen above standard hydrogen electrode, and below standard hydrogen electrode, negative standard reduction potential values have been placed. Third, E0 values apply to the reduction half reactions that occur in the forward direction as written. The standard reduction potential values are applied to only reduction half reactions that occur in forward direction reaction, not to reverse or backward direction reactions. Fourth point, higher, that is more positive, the E0 value for half reaction, it indicates greater tendency to occur in forward direction and also greater tendency for the substance to reduce. Lower, that is more negative, E0 value for a half reaction, it indicates its greater tendency to occur in reverse direction and greater tendency for the substance to oxidize. The half reactions are listed in order of their tendency in forward direction. Note, the left side of half reactions has cations of metals or non-metallic species, that is oxidants, whereas the right side of half reaction has free metals or anions of non-metals. Now let us study the applications of EMF series. The first one, relative strength of oxidizing agents. EMF series is used to determine relative strength of oxidizing agents. The tendency of the species to accept electrons and act as an oxidizing agent depends on standard reduction potential values. If standard reduction potential value is positive and large, then the substance acts as a strong oxidizing agent. So, substances in the upper position of the EMF series are called strong oxidizing agents. Few examples, F2, Cl2, O2, Orium, that is Au3+, etc. Second application, likewise, EMF series is also used to determine the relative strength of reducing agents. The tendency to lose electrons and act as reducing agent also depends on standard reduction potential values. If standard reduction potential value is negative and large, the substance acts as strong reducing agent. So, substances in the lower position of the EMF series are strong reducing agents. Example, Li, K, aluminium, etc. The third and the last application, identifying the spontaneous direction of the reaction. From standard reduction potential values, the spontaneity of a redox reaction can be determined. Now, when is the redox reaction considered to be spontaneous? A redox reaction in galvanic cell is spontaneous only if the species with higher standard reduction potential value is reduced. That is, it accepts electrons, and that with the lower standard reduction potential value is oxidized. That is, it donates electrons. So, standard cell potential must be positive for a cell reaction to be spontaneous under standard conditions. Now, let us consider the reaction to understand this application. In this reaction, the net cell reaction has been put forth. Mg solid plus twice Ag2 plus aqueous gives Mg2 plus aqueous plus 2 times Ag solid. From this net cell reaction, we find magnesium is oxidized to Mg2 plus and Ag2 plus is reduced to Ag. So, Mg is the anode and Ag2 plus is the cathode. So, E0Mg will be equal to minus 2.37 volt from EMF series, and E0Ag is equal to 0.8 volt also from EMF series. The values are reported in EMF series, that is the chart shown previously. In the reaction, magnesium, that is anode, is oxidized while Ag2 plus, that is cathode, is reduced. So, E0 cell is equal to E0Ag minus E0Mg. That is right hand side electrode potential minus left hand side electrode potential. That is equal to 0.8 volt minus 2.37 volt. So, 0.8 plus 2.37 volt will give you 3.17 volts. As E0 cell value obtained is plus 3.17 volt, that is positive, the cell reaction will be spontaneous. Now, let us see the two general rules for EMF series. An oxidizing agent can oxidize any reducing agent that appears below it and cannot oxidize reducing agent above it in the EMF series. A reducing agent can reduce the oxidizing agent above it in the EMF series. In the next lecture, you will be studying about reference electrode. There are two types of electrode. One is reference electrode and the other one is indicator electrode. Today, we will only conclude with the definition of reference electrode. An electrode whose potential is arbitrarily taken as 0 or is exactly known is called a reference electrode. Concluding part, exercise. Answer the following questions. Distinguish between electrolytic cell and galvanic cell. 2 marks. What is a salt bridge? Explain. 2 marks. Write 2 functions of a salt bridge. 1 mark. What are the conventions used to represent a galvanic cell? 2 marks. Derive the relation between cell potential and free energy for the cell reaction. 2 marks. Obtain a relation between standard cell potential and equilibrium constant of the cell reaction. 2 marks. What are the conventions used in the construction of EMF series? Again, this question can be asked for 2 or 3 marks. Write the applications of EMF series. 3 marks. Define 1 mark each. First is cell potential. Second, EMF series. Third, reference electrode. Fourth, electrode potential. And the last one, standard electrode potential. Solve these questions referring the notes which has been put forth in the video lecture in your notebooks. Thank you.